What's going on, everybody? It's DotBets. We are back at it here for the Valero Texas Open. Took a week off. I was feeling a little bit under the weather. Had that damn stomach bug that is going around. Was not fun. Always here with my main man at Teaser Nation. How are we feeling this evening? And how are we feeling about this tournament?
Yeah, I kind of had a rough week last week with matchups, but it's always good to have, a little fun with match play. But I had Scheffler. He didn't come through. I took him live at like 9-1 when he was down early on, so he didn't pull through. I'm kind of glad Cam Young didn't win because I would have been pretty salty if I wasn't on him. So, but now this week this is probably my least favorite tournament of the year. It's just pushed right in the middle of match play in the Masters, so no one shows up to it.
Yep.
It's not like a great course. It's nothing really, good about it. But we're still here giving some good content out and some good picks. So
yeah, and if it's your first time checking us out, we appreciate it. Make sure you guys, if you're on YouTube or Twitch, hit that follow button, hit that thumbs up, and leave a comment on who you guys like this tournament, who you guys think is going to win. DFS questions, anything for the next 30 minutes or so, we will be here. And if you guys are on Twitter, simply just hit that retweet button. It goes a long, long way for the show each and every week, besides last week because I could not even function. So, Teaser, we got a very light field this weekend.
Yep.
What are some attributes we're looking for? How are we going to attack this course?
Yeah, so really, this course is pretty long. I think it's like top 8 on tour. I think it's around 7,400 yards, par 72. The rough isn't really penal, so like you don't really have to hit fairways here. There really no rough around the greens either. The best defense, which we'll kind of see the first 2 days, I think, is the wind. The Texas winds will be kind of up the first 2 days. Usually course history, accurate ball strikers here with a somewhat good short game have success. And then a couple key stats. Obviously, strokes gain approach we look at every week. Good drives gained. It's not necessarily meaning fairways hit, but more just good drives gained off the tee, bogey avoidance, and then par 5 scoring I'll throw in as well.
Par 5, yeah. I like my first two are strokes gained approach, and then around the green. And then I think driving distance is a very, very big key here with the longer course.
Mm-hmm.
You definitely need accuracy so you can kind of tie the two together. But I'm going to take distance over accuracy this week when making some decisions, taking guys out of my player pool, putting them in, and just trying to see some placements here. So you got a couple outrights for us?
Yeah, I'll throw them out. So the first one I'm going with is Davis Riley. I got 30-1 the other day. We've talked about this guy numerous times over the past year now, but I don't know. It's just a good number in this weak field. He's pretty good in the model there, 8th. He makes birdies. Proximity wise, he's pretty good in a strokes gain approach over his last 50. I don't know, man. He actually played pretty decent last week at the match play. I think he took Scheffler to the 18th hole, and he kind of choked it with missing a putt there. So he didn't play bad. He didn't make it out of his group, obviously, because he was playing Scheffler. But he didn't look bad at all last week. He's actually been gaining his last 5 tournaments, every category except around the greens, which is a little scary. That it's kind of his weakness is around the greens. If you kind of watch him chip a little bit, it's a little shaky. He has been coming into past form, as we both know. He was pretty horrendous, but he's been seeing some improvement the past 2 or 3 weeks, I would say. And then just lastly, it's a weak field, and I think he won a Korn Ferry tour here, Korn Ferry tournament here at this location. So he's pretty familiar with the course. I think he's played it once on tour. I don't know if he missed the cut or not, but he wasn't really close to contending. But I like the 30-1 on him.
Yeah, he played last year. He got 63rd.
Yeah, so he made the cut, but nothing special. So
I have 3 outrights. He was literally my 4th one that I just decided, okay, I'm just going to play 3. I like Davis Riley this week. He's going to be in my player pool. His ownership is okay. It's not out of the world like some of these other guys. But man, I really, really wish I could put him on my all right, but he just missed the cut. I do like this play a lot.
Yeah, he's just hard to get sometimes. It's sometimes when he's in contention, it's just he makes that big number. Like he was in contention the other week and he, doubles or triples, something like that. So I don't know. Hopefully he's in contention. Maybe he can, break through. And then my second one, I'm going to kind of get into the long shots here a little more because another tidbit is there's really only been one favorite in the betting market that's won here the past 10 years, which was Spieth 2 years ago. I think he was the favorite at like 13 or 14 to 1. So I would kind of advise to look in the mid-tier to long shot range this week. Brendan Todd, I have at 50 to 1. That's my second. He does have 2 top 10s here and 5 starts, which is always good to look at. He comes in with decent form. It's not great form, not bad form. It's kind of in the middle. He's actually, you might have to type him in.
I was going to say, where is he at?
He's not. That's one thing. He wasn't that great on the. He's like 92. That's a little scary there, but I mean, it's like I said, this is one where you kind of just kind of take a stab at some guys because last year JJ Spawn I think was 200 to 1 before he kind of broke out, and there was not really any research on him. He just kind of won. So it's really Brendan Todd. I'm just kind of looking at him here. He's always been a decent. He usually plays better on shorter courses, but he's a guy. He keeps it in the fairway. I think he could be able to contend here.
He for DFS wise, the model ranks him as 92nd. He's coming in as the 6th highest owned player at 19%. So
oh wow,
a lot of people. Okay. I don't know what his course history is. Let me see it real quick.
I think he has 2 top 10s and 5 starts, which is
so yeah. Course history. I think. I mean, a lot of people will default to course history in times like this with a weak field, anything like that. But yeah, his recent form isn't awful whatsoever. I mean, Arnold, he got 39th. The players, he got the 27th. But other than that,
which is good too. Like, seeing those two kind of, I mean, he's trending in the right direction. So, I mean, obviously those are completely different courses to this one, but at least he's trending. And then lastly, I took this guy. It was in between this guy and Aaron Rye, but I went with this guy over Aaron Rye. Is Nick Taylor. I don't know if he's as good either in the model. He's probably far down. Yeah, if you can. Taylor, he's 76 as well, but he's just another guy. I'm kind of betting for the number. He doesn't really have great success here, but he's 60 to 1. This is a guy though. His recent form is actually pretty good. He has 3 top 20s in his last 6 starts. So yeah, I think it's 3 missed cuts and 3 top 20s. And I think he came in second at the when Scheffler won in Arizona. I think he was coming down that wire there. So, he's been in decent form. I think he has a chance as well to contend. So those are 3 guys. I'm maybe eyeing some lives. One guy I would definitely advise maybe if he kind of gets off to a slow start, Siwoo Kim, because I like how he's playing as well. And I think he could, if you can get a better number on him around the 40-50 range, I would definitely hop on that as well.
I like it. Yeah, Taylor, he's coming in. Another guy. He's really, really high owned. He's at the 20%. His keeps rising. So he's been rising throughout the entire week. A lot of people have been leaning towards him. Reason for that, he's 7,600 on DK. So you're getting tremendous salary relief, but you're not getting much relief with ownership. So you're playing low risk contests. You're playing cash games. Go ahead and play some Nick Taylor. But if you're playing high risk, if you do have Taylor in your lineup, make sure you guys get some guys that are sub 5% in there, which we will discuss here in a bit. So my 3 outrights, this guy I was super excited to get, Corey Connors, number 4. I'm glad he did not advance too far last week because I think we got a better number on him this week. I still think he could have won last week. I was halfway between betting Cam Young or Corey Connors, and I didn't do anything because I couldn't function. But those are the 2 guys that stood out to me the most value-wise last week. And I said, you know what? I couldn't get Connors last week. I'm going to go back to the well here. He's got pretty good course history here. His form is pretty phenomenal. Besides take away the miscut at the Players, he's got 21st, 61st, 50th, 12th, 18th. I mean, he's been playing solid golf all season long, and he's won this tournament back in 19. 18, he got 26th. 21, he got 14th, and then 22nd. Last year, he got 35th. So, absolutely loves this course. And this is me fading most of those guys ahead of him, especially in DFS with the big salaries above him. So I really like the 22-1 number here on Connors, and I'm double dipping with him as well. So he should. He was I think he's the cover boy of my. Yeah, he was the cover boy. So yeah, I got a double dip on the cover boy. Yeah. That's always an indication. Next guy that I like was the guy who won last week in the tournament that nobody probably even knew was going on. Matt Wallace at 40-1. Like his recent form, obviously, and I'll take my chances with Matt again. I'm not double dipping here. You can definitely take maybe a top 20 here. The top 20s have the best value in this tournament because it's so wide open. And if you particularly like a guy, maybe you don't want to take an outright on him, but maybe take a top 20. So that'd be another angle there. And then I did go with Aaron Rye. And we were talking before, and the teacher's like, I just can't see him winning. And I'm like, oh, geez. So don't really like that. But I'm going to take my chances here with Aaron. And let's see real quick what he's been doing. He's gained close on strokes gained, tee to green, 4.2 in his last 5 events, which is astounding, which is really good. 19th at the Players. And he played this last year, got top 30, he got 29th. So likes the course. Pretty damn good recent form. Strokes gained on approach, next to the green. He's hitting all those key spots for me to put him on the card. So I'll give me Aaron Rice. Those are my 3 outrights that I got. And speaking of top 20s, you got any top 20s or 40s you wanna give out?
Yeah, I'll give up my 20s. But going back to Rye there, I think another reason you'll see him a lot this week, he's a good win player as well. So I think a lot of people are going to that aspect since it's going to, I think, be pretty windy the first 2 days. So
speaking of wind, real quick, if you're playing DFS, the main advantage, there was a significant advantage going AM PM with the tee times. It's more the Thursday's just gonna be gusty and windy throughout the entire day. Friday afternoon is not as windy, so there still is a slight advantage to the AM PM crowd, but I don't think it's anything. I mean, maybe if you're taking away somebody out of your player pool because of that, that'd be a reason for it. But I'm not going to build specific player pool slates for those time frames and tee times. So you can if you want, and if you do, if that's something that you are into, AM PM is the way to go. All right, so give us some top 20s here.
Yeah, so I went more chalk with the top 20s. Or the more favorites instead of kind of taking them outright. So first I did Siwoo at plus 125. He ranks well in the model, so he's 5th, I think. First in opportunities gained, so he's making a lot of birdies as of his last 50 rounds. 5th in ball striking and 7th strokes gained approach. I think he has 5 top 30s his last 7 starts, and I think that has a win as well at the Sony Open. 4 out of 6 top 25 finishes here in 6 starts. So he does like this course. And then he's really found some consistency. He's always been an inconsistent guy, but he had some equipment changes this year. So it kind of looks like he's been finding some more consistency and that's what you kind of look for in the top 20, a guy who's, consistent and not missing cuts, every other tournament. So I like where he's at with that. 2, I'm going to go with your guy, Corey Connors. I didn't trust him enough for it outright, but I do like that play as well. We already talked about him in the model. Obviously, he's going to be high up there with ball striking, making birdies, everything off the tee. And then you touched on it. He won here in 2019, and he has 4 other top 30 finishes. And then another little tidbit on him, it's always just like match play. He seems to play well in Texas. It's like the greens just cancel out his bad putting. So, it's usually Florida swings are pretty tough for him. And then you kind of get into Texas and he starts rolling the rock a little bit because it's kind of cancels out bad putters. So that's also another little side note on him.
We got
and then two more.
Quick question here, Teaser. Quick question here from Blake.
Yeah.
Says, who do you think are the best outrights? I'm leaning Connors right now for my league. If you're doing a one and done, I'm going Corey Connors this week. So he's the cover boy. He's my guy this week. I'm going to ride and die with him. If you had to pick one of those, you're probably going to lean Davis Riley?
I would either say I would back Corey Connors, and I'll give Siwoo Kim. I'll give those two. I think those are two guys. I mean, I don't think you can go wrong with both. There's a lot of upside for both of them. You can get a win. I don't think you're going to miscut with both of them. So I think they're pretty safe floor there. So those two guys I would kind of back. I don't think I would do Davis Riley just because there's potential there for a miscut. He's a little more inconsistent. So I would narrow it down to those two and whatever you want.
Yeah, for one and done. The interesting one this week is Hideki. He, with this neck injury, no one kind of knows, and it's lowering his ownership in DFS. So if you're playing high risk, you got to get some exposure to Hideki. 22-1 in a weak field, he should be the top-rated golfer. Obviously, he's not. It's just someone that I'm playing more in DFS wise. It's just crazy high risk for me to take any bets on him. But a 22-1 in a weak field is always intriguing for Hideki. But I'm going to wait and get him later on for a one and done kind of deal.
Yep. No, I agree.
Blake says Kim is a good pick too. And then he also said I had Hatton last week. And Hatton
screwed me out of, I think, what was it, 4 or 5K, because I had a group parlay and he goes 0-3. He didn't even come close to getting out of his group. So
yeah, I picked Hatton in my one and done, and I went from, I think I was in third, now I went down to 7th because of it. So not happy about that, but I'm gonna roll with Corey Connors this week for sure.
Yeah, no, I like that as well. Either Connors or Kim, whatever. I think they're both good. But and then another guy I guess we haven't even talked about, but that's JJ Spawn. He won last year, so we haven't even talked about him yet. But he's plus 170, I believe, top 20. I think he might be maybe like plus 150 now, but either way, he doesn't really rank too well in the model, but he actually played really well last week in match play. He got out of his group, and he had a pretty tough group that he got out of. He kind of got steamrolled by Xander in the Sweet 16, but he was going low throughout the first 3 days. So his recent form, obviously that counts. Is trending. It's funny because he's starting to break through. Like no one knew about this guy really until this week last year, but he's really maintained kind of a level of consistency throughout last year or two now. So that's another guy I feel comfortable taking, another top 20.
Who did he lose to last week? Who did Spawn lose to last week?
I think he got Xander in the Sweet 16. He just he lost like 6-4, I think. Yeah, he was like,
he got boat raced. Yeah, but before that, he was boat racing other people.
Yeah, I forgot who was in his group, but yeah, Blake was saying what was saying. He had such a he was hot. Yeah, I forgot who was because he was the 61st seed, so he had. I don't remember. I don't think it was Spieth. There's someone he had, but
it was Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, it was.
He dominated Fitz. Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah, he did dominate that group. Yeah. So yeah, he's been in good recent form. Obviously, of course, I guess he likes because he won last year. So, and then 4th is a guy you have as an outright. We talked about Aaron Rye, plus 230. I was actually surprised. I think that's still on DraftKings now. I thought that would be way under 2-1. Like we said, I think he had a 29th last year. And then what we talked about, he got top 20 at the Players. If you kind of watched him that way, he did look really good approach-wise. I think he gained total 7 strokes, which is good for 1 week. So I think he's kind of coming into his own now. He does have a lot of talent, but he's also a good win player, so that's a good factor. So yeah, those are my top 4 top 20s, and then I'll get into the 40s after getting yours.
So I double dipped on Connor, so I'm taking his outright. I'm also taking his top 20 just to cover any if he doesn't end up winning, let's make sure he gets in the top 20. That's plus 120. And then guy that absolutely demolishes it here is Old Reliable. I always go back to this guy every single season. He's just Old Reliable for me, and that is Matt Kuchar. He's just Mr. Consistent, plus 140. Besides Connor's play right here, this is probably my second favorite play of the weekend. Kuchar top 20. Last 3 times he's played here, he's gotten a second, 12th, and a 7th. Absolutely loves this course. He never hits it very far. And I know I said I was going to lean distance over accuracy, but that was for some of my outrights. And I'm going to make sure I get some money here with Matt Kuchar. So
what's
give
his
me
price again? Or what's he at? Plus what?
Plus 140.
Okay.
So
yeah, I like him as well.
And let me look at his ownership real quick in DFS because it kind of
might be a little.
It went up a little. It went up a little bit more than I thought because what I had written down before is at 19 and now he's at 22. So everybody's looking at course history like they usually do for good reason.
Well, last week too.
He loves match play. Yeah, he does. So I'm still going to ride with Kuchar. I'm like I said, I'm doing top 20. If I go anything with him in DFS, I'll probably match the field. But not go crazy with Kuchar. Like I said, I could see him being up there, but I don't know if he's going to end up winning the dang thing. The other guy is a very popular play this week. I've seen him a lot of outrights. I'm going to be safe here. I'm going to go Ryan Fox at plus 200, and that's for half a unit. He, pretty good recent form. He played pretty well last week. Who did he lose to?
Dude, I had a.
You had a parlay, didn't you?
Andrew, no, and I also had him Andrew Putnam. They were both 1-0. That was basically the one to get out of the group, which I also had him to get out of his group. Which supposedly I don't know too much about him, but I guess he's a good putter. But the day I bet on him, he had 7 putts inside 10 feet, didn't make one. So if he does that this week, he's not going to play too well. But
yep.
I don't hate him. I'm just put that aside last week because we can't dwell on it. But I don't hate him this week. I think he's a pretty all-around player who comes from the European Tour. So
yeah, I'm good with that. And like our whole motto this year is to not be so mad at ourselves from last week that we miss out this week on it. Yep. So we're gonna go back to. I'm gonna go to Ryan Fox. I know teasers laying off. But yeah, those are the 3 top 20s. I may add Davis Riley to it at the when the day's done. We'll see. We'll tweet out our official cards after the show, just to make sure you guys don't miss anything. But let's go into top 40s real quick, and then we'll go to some sleepers for DFS to wrap it up.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep these 2 short because this is all course history, man. It's funny. It's Charlie Hoffman at plus 180.
Wow, love it.
I mean, you have to it's just a nod to the guy. Like I've done it the last 3 years. He's 9 out of 12 top 20s here, 2 runners up and a win. It's literally, I'm not even going to go further than that.
Guy loves it.
Yeah, he loves it here. So we'll just skip right to the next one. This is more of a value play. Ryan Moore at 3-1. He also is 4 top 20s here and 5 starts. So 80% of the time, top 20. And I'm only doing a top 40. And that's literally another strictly based off course history and value. Both of these guys aren't playing well at all this year. Just hoping they can find something here where they have the past decade. So I'll just keep it brief there. That's really course history for me there.
Love it. So I got 3 top 40s, and like I said, they're going to be on course history a little bit more. This is a little bit more of a wild card tournament, so you could have a little bit more top 40s and top 20s than your outrights. I'm okay with it. Ryan Palmer is the one that I'm talking about here. Plus 125. I'm going a full unit. He's played here ever since 2010. So he absolutely knows what's going on. Mm-hmm. And he's gotten a 48 last year and a 17th in the year before that. A couple missed cuts, but other than that, he has not missed a missed cut since 2010. So give me Ryan Palmer just for the course history alone. What has he done recently for me? I know he's gained some strokes. Tee to green, 1.3 in his last 5. So not as good as Aaron Rai. It's in the right direction, though. Miscut off the players, but I'll take course history over that. Another guy that we did cash for our top 40s a couple weeks ago is Dave Lingmerth. And that was at the Valspar, because he got 27. And he gained 5.2 strokes in that whole tournament. The last 5 strokes gained, tee to green, he has gained 3. And on approach, it's 3.6. And so give me a lot of Lingmerth. He's played here 4 times, hasn't played here since 2018. So not leaning more on course history here. I like the recent form out of Lingmerth. But the guy who has played here a buttload that you've seen a lot of success, and for whatever reason, his ownership has not gone up in DFS, is Lucas Glover. And so he's one of my sleeper plays for DFS. He's under 5% owned currently, and plus 175. I'm taking that for his top 40. Last 3 years, an 18th, a 4th, and a 14th. So, I'll take a top 40 plus 175. If you want to go ahead and take a top 20 or an outright on Lucas Glover, you can. But I will be over the field on Lucas Glover this week. Over the field on Lingmerth as well, who's a sleeper play. And then one last sleeper play that I'll say for DFS is a guy that I can't fathom to bet sometimes or even put in my player pool for good reasons, because he's probably going to miss the cut, but Luke List, I have to do it. And he's got a 53rd and a 17th the last 2 years here, but his recent form is atrocious off of 3 straight miscuts. I'm hoping something clicked on the time off that he's got, and it's more of a sub 5% sleeper play. Guy hits the ball very far. He can make this course very easy for himself. And putting wise in this tournament, the greens are pretty pure, so I'll take my chances with some putting variance going his way. If he hits the ball straight and accurate, Luke List is probably the biggest wild card of the weekend, but I'm going to have a good fair share of him in my DFS player pool for sure. You got any sleepers that you like?
Yeah, I was gonna say one guy. I just looked on DraftKings. Supposedly people were getting him at 181, but now he's at 70 to 1, and that's Joseph Bramlett.
Yep.
Yeah, so he's a guy. He kind of matches what you're saying with the driving distance. Dude hits it a mile.
He's
obviously
2% owned too in DFS.
I think that's one guy you could definitely. There's not much upside to it. There's not really a win equity you can get there, but you're not. When you're looking for sleepers like that, hopefully you can get like a top 30 or something like that for you, top 20, make a lot of birdies, stuff like that. Yeah, he's one guy, definitely be eyeing up. That's kind of it. And then one more.
Oh, go ahead.
This guy named Sam Stevens, he came 3rd last week at Punta Cana. He looked pretty good. He's probably not even 3% owned. I don't know.
Who is it? What was the last name?
Sam Stevens, STE. Yeah, Stevens.
He's 9% owned.
Okay, so that's based off last week then probably, but those are 2. And then I'll give one tournament matchup. This one I really like is we're going back to your guy again, Corey Connors.
Hey.
So this is where plus 120 over Hatton.
Oh, that's a great one.
You got to take that 10 out of 10 times.
Straight up fading Hatton this week.
It's a fade, and then why are we getting plus 120? Like, it's weird. So, like, I'm taking that any day of the week. So that's something I'm confident in there. So
maybe the hand issue isn't as crazy as people think it is, but still, everyone watched him play last week, and it looked horrific. It looked bad. Like he was just off from that injury.
Yeah, right.
So it gives me a very good reason. Like we've said countless episodes, all you have to have is one reason to not play somebody that's highly owned in DFS, to keep them out of your player pool or not bet them. And that's an easy one for me. At 26% on, the highest rated golfer is currently, if you had a day-to-day in fantasy golf, I would say these day-to-day with his hand or something like.
Yep. And plus 120 is crazy. I think it should be more even to maybe favored, but
yeah. So you have two guys that are you got Hatton and you got Hideki, who are gaining, who have complete different ownership. One's clearly has an injury, and one does. They both have injuries, but one's the only 6% on. The other guy is 26% on. So I'm going to go the high risk approach and play a little bit more Hideki than I would Tyrell. Another guy that I'm fading that's kind of hard for me to say this year because Ricky has been playing a lot better. But I'm gonna fade Ricky because he should not garner 20% ownership in any tournament that he has. And I know you are on Brendan Todd, but for DFS wise, he shouldn't garner 20%. And I know this is a weaker field, but
no, I agree.
You have a lot of these guys having a lot of ownership to them. This is a week that maybe fade those top guys just a little bit. Go underweight and go with a little bit more of a balanced build approach with a lot of upside with some of these sleeper guys, some of these value guys that we've been talking about all stream long, like Connors, Rye, Fox. One guy I forgot to say earlier is Cam Davis. He's at 10% owned in DFS. He had a big quote that came out, I think it was yesterday or this morning, was about how he had some sickness that lasted forever. He just didn't feel good enough to play. Wasn't playing very well. He's completely over it, and he's been turning it around. So maybe you get ahead of it from the average Joe that's playing DFS. He's currently garnering. So he went up. So I got him this morning at 11%. It's currently at 14%. So maybe people are getting onto that. I'm still okay with that as long as it doesn't reach past 15 or 16%. I'm okay with that value there. But yeah, Cam Davis is another one for the balanced build approach at 8,300. You could start with Rye 7,900. You got Cam Davis 8,300. You go Connors at 10-1 and then fill in from there. I think that's a pretty good approach this week. Yep. So any final thoughts before we get out of here?
Don't bet Ricky Fowler 18-1. Just don't do it. I've seen so many people do it. I don't understand it at all. So,
yep. So appreciate you guys tuning in. If you guys have enjoyed the show and you guys want a little bit more from us 24/7, join the Discord in the description below. And if you guys are on Twitter watching and wrapping up, hit that retweet button. Would go a long way for us. And we appreciate all the questions, all of the people that tuned in. And we'll be back. As next week is the big week. It's Masters. It is the first major. We'll see if we can get a guest for it. If not, it'll just be us two. But yeah, that is where everybody shifts the attention to golf. So we got opening day tomorrow. Hope everybody's ready to get after some MLB bets. I would say start slow because MLB is a little bit crazy with variant wise. But
especially with the new rules and stuff. See how that plays out.
Yeah, so don't blow all your bankroll tomorrow on opening day. Just kind of see how it goes. Maybe find some bets or two to get after it. But I'm excited to watch baseball all day long and get after it. And then you got golf the same day. It's amazing. So appreciate you guys tuning in. I'm rambling. We're getting out of here. We'll see you.